Welcome everybody to another live edition of the Showcase Pod. I am Don Vega, joined by the boss, Chris Blackhart. Chris Blackhart, you got a nice background there. Showcase in the background there.
You know,
Got the pod in the background there, a little futuristic, a little bit, but uh, yeah, we're back again on location. We're not in the studio, and I believe you got the lights on today, so that's a great.
yeah, we do. We are fully licensed. We paid the bill, even though you're trying to figure out are you paying for the delivery or are you paying for the service?
Uh,
That's
com-
that's the Rhode Island question.
Combination of both. We're getting set to uh, return to live action this Saturday in Woonsocket. Another edition of Showcase Saturday night, and we got some matches that were signed for that show this Saturday, uh, including a tag team matchup for the SPW tag team titles as the champions will defend the belts. You had anything to do with the signing of that matchup with Super Stack, Sean Candido, and Danny Cabral defending the titles?
I do apologize. I kind of missed the last 15 seconds. I had a call coming in, but I did hear you say Danny Cabral,
Yeah,
Sean Candido.
Danny Cabral and Sean Candido will be defending the tag team championship against 21 Jump Street and 21. See, I every time every time I hear that name, I just think of the movie 17 Jump Street.
See, I call him PG-13 because that's who I hope shows up.
Well, that's gonna be the match this Saturday night in Woonsocket. Uh, any thoughts on that match and why was a match signed so quickly with the new champions defending the titles against these kids?
Well, I like to blame two people, and one of them is not me. I do believe Sajid Muldoon jumped the gun on that one based on Matchversary.
Okay.
But my problem is and you would know this too, that the young kids went up to one of the companies that we work with very well, Royal Crown Wrestling,
Yeah.
and almost both of them got hurt. Rocky, I haven't got a full update for the week, but Rocky had looked like either a tendon or an ankle got injured. And then D Rex, I mean, he's been showing that video to everybody. He almost landed on his head.
So
So,
are you saying that these guys are on the injury reserve right now, or
well,
what?
yeah, I mean, I'm looking at it this way: is yeah, it's great you got a title match, but I don't think they're ready to go.
So
So my
like,
phone is on. Be happy to update, for the next 48 hours if we need to. Again, the title opportunity is still there, but I don't think they're ready for it.
so we might see a change in that title match. Is that what you're saying?
What I'm saying is that they were smart and listened to me like they didn't at my anniversary. Just reach out, and we'll be happy to maybe move a match around, maybe delayed for another week going in Tana, which is more than fine because injuries is part of the game. But you got to be smart.
So let me get straight. Are you in the catering business now, Chris Black? Are you catering to people now? Is
No,
that
no, I'm just saying it is an option because I mean, look at the tag teams that were there match anniversary. All if one slides instead of the other, I mean,
oh
it's a
yeah.
better defense. You
It
know,
could be anybody coming out of the woodworks. I mean, open title shot that could lead to anyone coming over and trying to get a shot in contendership. So, uh, yeah. On other news, we will be back on, like you said, April 11th at the BFW, and another matchup that was signed that night was a match between the consistent one AZ and inconsistent bump we know as Christopher Spratt. Go back to Blackheart. I can't see you as clear as before.
hey, there I am.
There you go. Don't shut the lights off. Remember what happened a couple weeks back?
But you know,
We're not doing interviews with the vampire. We're not doing any of that stuff. We're talking about AZ taking on the inconsistent one, uh, Christopher Spratt, in a matchup, captain's match, where each individual uh, partners in that case will be in the corners, handcuffed to the corners. And I'm talking about the Damien and Matt Michelson.
All right, now who came up with that match?
You tell me.
Come on, you can't tell handcuffs, Muldoon. Come on,
Muldoon's
yeah, here's his hands all over that one.
it seems a little weird that he comes out of the woodworks and he's making all these matches, and it's just a little inconsistent, if I may say so myself. But
Well, again, it's not a bad idea. I just don't know why they have to be handcuffed. I mean, I think the captain's match was great.
especially Michelson, I don't think he'll interfere or he'll have anything that doesn't need to happen when it comes down to that match. So,
Well, I'll say a little biased, if I say so, least is I know they interfere, and
oh,
the fact
not,
that
not,
Damien's in the corner
not
now.
interference. A couple of months back, when I pointed certain things out, Chris Blackhart, for whatever reason, you never saw anything and never got back to
No,
you.
no, 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 no. Now you're twisting a little bit. We know that Michelson will interfere,
Well,
but
we
why keep him one place? Because now Damien get involved. Maybe he can run him out. Which is perfect.
I don't have anything to do with what you're saying. You say we. I'm not including myself in none of this. So, with that being said, another matchup that was signed was a grudge match between the Rat Raiden and myself. If he could even make it to Taunton, uh, I thought he was done. He should just relinquish the title, and you could put it around the real champion's waist, Vega.
Well, that's actually not a bad idea. So why don't this Saturday in Woonsocket we'll give Alex an option. He can relinquish the title, retire as a champion, which is actually a pretty good option when you think about it. Have a couple of photo ops before, and then that match instead of we can have the crowning of you in Taunton.
Well, yeah,
That's not bad. And then the next time we go in Taunton in May, we can have you can have your first title defense.
that's brilliant, Chris Blackheart. Why not save yourself the embarrassment? Why not save yourself the beating that you're gonna get? And why not save yourself all the injuries that you're gonna get if you step in a ring with me come the 11th in Taunton? That will be the smartest decision Alex Rated has ever done in his life.
Well, I mean, it's not a bad. It's really not a bad option. Just for the fact that Alex has been out of the ring, he got injured. We still don't have any paperwork regarding his clearance. He's ready to go. Um, I know when I see him, after he's
He's
the
wheezing
smile. The
up crap.
smile was a little bit gone.
Is he
You know,
is he taking little bits and pieces of the cheese, Chris Blackheart?
like I don't think he's a rat. I think he got caught up in the
He is a rat,
motion.
Blackheart.
Uh,
Rata, no good, no bueno, no sirve. And if you show up the 11th, I'm gonna do what we do to rats. I'm gonna step all over him, and I'm gonna get rid of him for good. Just that.
but do you know what's also good for rats? I got something good for rats.
What do you got?
Ha
Oh,
ha!
got, got the kitty. Oh,
Yeah,
see the kitty. The kitty, I think, likes the plan with getting rid of the rat Alex rated. Think,
yeah. So
get rid of him. Get rid of him, Uncle Vega. Get rid of the rat. I think that's what she said.
I did. She was meowing. I heard it.
Yep. So I know there's a lot of cat lovers out there, so probably this week, Chris Blackhart, you'll get over with the people for showing your kitty.
Uh,
You know, pussy has that effect on people. Show you now, then now people will like you.
yeah, well,
Well,
there's
you know,
only one way to find out.
we'll find out. We'll find out in a little bit when this goes on. But speaking of different things, wrestling news. Have you been keeping up lately with those other companies down in the Connecticut area, and the other one with the billionaire dad that gave in some money to run some shows?
Um, I caught a story on the feed today. I'm not sure when it went up, but did you see the Charlotte Flair story?
No, I didn't.
So it came out that her and Andrade, they're no longer together, and I guess it happened or somewhere around the Rumble. So it came out. It looked like she did media appearance. I forget what show it was, and I guess she really wanted to keep it quiet.
Yeah,
And some people was trying to compare to her because that would be her second marriage that was dissolved. Trying to compare her to her dad,
well, she
which
she
is
all the
you know
right.
no, but I mean it's unfair, and even for Andrade, I mean they're in a company they there wasn't any stories behind it, but I think the question is what the story will come out because wrestlers cannot keep secrets, you know. But it looked like she was just she wanted to come back quiet regarding her professional, and we know maybe she could be like her dad. Maybe she likes to get
I
married.
did see a photo that some marks in the internet posted and share some unreliable sources, and they show this gentleman posing next to her, which turns out to be her makeup artist. And they were saying, "Oh, she's taking pictures with her new boyfriend and all this other."
Yeah, I did see that the other day, and then I saw that the article popped up literally today. I saw it, so
Yeah,
it's like it's a tough one,
yeah.
and but no, I think that on WWE story, I think the biggest thing, I mean, WrestleMania, it feels like a giant hangover right now. It feels like there's a lot of time in between, and a lot of mic work, between especially Cena and Cody. A lot of matches made.
Well,
Look at the
you know
look at the
what?
main event.
My favorite thing that just recently happened was Gunther bloodying Jimmy Uso and beating him to a bloody pulp. You saw that? That was great.
I did. Was that inspiring to you, or do you
Well,
think?
I think
Wait a minute.
I
Or
think
did Gunter call you for
fine.
inspiration?
I guess I don't know. Great minds think alike. He might have got inspired through the grapevine. I mean, we might have a whisperer down at the training center. Who knows? We might have somebody relaying back. Hey, I seen this guy get bloody. This rat-like guy. You should do the same to the other rat. I mean, they're twin rats. I mean, yeah, that was great, man. That was awesome. You
Uh,
saw you saw the last interview with Cena and Cody.
yeah, it's. I think the time for talking is over.
I did enjoy Cena destroying Cody in details. Uh I mean, there's not much you could say. I mean, he hit the nail in the coffin when it came to a lot of points that he drove. So, it just remains to be seen what's gonna happen. Like I said before, I think Cena will become the 17-time world champion. And I think things, as far as the story goes, things are just getting started. So that's my opinions on that. Who do you have in that Gunther Jey Uso match?
I like to still go with Gunter. Uh, I think the momentum is there. I think we already had the Uso story. you know, between the Rumble and between the brothers match last year, I don't think they can beat them, and I don't think they're a stronger representation of the company.
Well, I would hope that Gunther still remains the champion. Deep down inside, I get that feeling. When you get that little feeling like you're gonna throw up in your stomach. I get that little feeling like they're gonna give these little crybabies on the internet, these little fanboys, what they want.
Yeah.
I think that for some reason Jay Uso might pull an upset, but I'm rooting for Gunther. I think the smart choice would be for Gunther to walk out of there still the world's heavyweight champion. I mean, we've seen it before. It was great going to LA and seeing all the 30 the 24 to 38 demographic male crying about Cody not living
Mhm.
the dream back in LA WrestleMania.
Yes.
That was great. I think that part just going out of the arena and seeing all the crybabies. Oh, I'm never watching wrestling again. That was worth the price of admission, Chris Blackhart.
Well, maybe the only good part about that, there was a lot of turnover in training centers at that time.
Yeah.
Maybe the people that shouldn't be training are the ones that left the business,
Well, yeah.
um,
I
and
mean,
they went back where they belong, which is behind the guardrail, paying the ticket.
never watching wrestling again, and I bet all those are currently watching wrestling again.
Well,
So
I mean, I think on the good part about that, wrestling, goes up and down emotionally. That's what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to put you on that ride. And the fact that, you know, their feelings are hurt because of it, that means everybody did their job. And guess another thing, you got worked, you got hooked, and you were watching more, which is perfect because that is what the
get
wrestling business
writers
is.
blacklisted. Can't we just get the bookers booking this? The bookers putting themselves over, booking this. Can we blacklist them?
Although those are a different story for a different day.
We put the writers back in a basement somewhere so they don't write these stories where Cody doesn't go over on Roman Reigns.
Why is that every week you want to get hate? I don't understand.
I'm just stating the facts.
Yeah, because you're not the one who goes into the SBW, um, message on Instagram, or if
Speaking of
it's
Matt, if
face.
oh,
You're not the one who reads and have to respond in a nice company fashion. At SP Wrestling and all of our social media, I'm the one who usually feels all those questions, and usually there's a lot of not so nice stuff about you. I mean, a lot of it's true, a lot of it I agree with, and a lot of it makes me smile some days when I see it.
oh,
But
you
yeah, so maybe
people,
Friday morning you should be opening, literally the mailbag.
maybe I should. I mean, man, I'm surprised that half these people know how to send a message to our social media pages. I'm mind boggled that they even know how to type. But if you're taking your time to respond to these idiots that have bad words or choice of words of my person, then unfortunately, Chris, you should be ignoring these people.
No, I mean it's called customer care. So, but why don't you, instead of typing, why don't we have the people send a video? So for everything you don't like about Don Vega on Thursday night, send us a nice video so I can properly deliver the words to him, literally in person.
Videos,
It's,
not videos.
yes, yes, cameos.
So speaking of comments, we got some comments. Frank Roach is tuning in and he says, "What's up?" Uh, Cow Cowboy Willie, he's back in again, and he's saying he doesn't see Alex dropping the title to Vega. See, this is what I mean. Look at this kid.
Well, no, I mean
Yeah,
he
winning championship again in Taunton. The only thing he's gonna be winning is another beatdown if he shows up that night. Because that's what Alex deserves. He's an ungrateful rat that rode my coattails. He rode my coattails all the way to March anniversary, and then he came and stole something that it didn't belong to him.
I can't disagree with that. He took you a moment.
So, that's for a couple weeks from now. I know this is another thing going back to this Saturday night. I'm getting phone calls from Cena Senior saying that I have to show up and give an explanation to the people.
No. All right. So I think John got a little bit confused because based on what I already told you,
Obviously,
Alex should be coming out, give an explanation of the crowd, giving up his title, which is really nice, going out on top. He can grab the hand of his daughter, go out as champion, which is perfect. That is a perfect story. So, Alex, we'll be happy. Just give us some updated music. We can play, We Are the Champions from Queen. That's perfect.
just get him out of the building before I have any interactions with him.
Well, no, why don't you do this? Why don't you go to your favorite restaurant, right? When that happens, right, I'll give you a call and say, hey, everything is good. We're gonna do the ceremony on the 11th, in Taunton, so you don't have to show up.
Well, I could go get a bite to eat. I mean, restaurants usually do have those big extra big forks.
What?
Forks, the type that you poke, stab a steak, especially extra rare.
Now, this is this is kind of awkward and weird now that usually we have no outside food, no outside beverages. Now I think we have to put on the door, no outside forks. That's was that like a Veda clause? A Don Vega clause? No outside forks.
I mean, it is what it is, Chris Blackhart. You just never know what's gonna happen. And words of advice for Alex Rated: turn the title in, walk away with what you have, whatever dignity you have left. Walk away with that because it's not gonna turn out good if he show up on the 11 and torn. So continuing on, Chris Blackheart, to everything else that's been going on wrestling the last few weeks. AEW continues on. You know, you say you don't like the gruesome stuff. I saw this clip of Swerve, I believe, getting powerbomb into glass.
I did not see that. I did see the one about 2 weeks ago with Moxley.
Yeah, it's like every week they're turning the page.
It almost reminds me they're trying to redo like the Attitude Era, where they're trying to top, something. And I think the problem with that is that people get immune to it. It doesn't mean anything because they're just looking for what happens next and not why it happens.
Oh, it seems like they're going the route of ECW, more edgy wrestling, but it's happened so much at this point. We've seen blood, we've seen all these different situations happen at AEW at this point that it doesn't have that shocking value anymore. It just seems like repetitive in a different situation, more the same.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's the problem. So it's I don't know. I mean, if people like it, great. But what were the ratings? What's the feelings? And I think they forget some talent don't want to put themselves into that predicament. So they could be limiting who's signing what matches and who comes in because I mean, if I'm not mistaken, I think Rusev got re-signed by WWE.
Yeah, Ruth
Uh,
did. There's news that he did sign with the WWE earlier this week. So,
yeah,
have to be seen how he's going to return back there and what the plans are with him. So,
yeah.
y-
You look at was it Mark Henry? Looks like he's coming back to the fold.
I believe so. Yeah, yeah.
And then was she changed her name to what was it? Not C? Is it not Sierra? The who's the girl that left? Who was dating Alberto?
Paige.
Yeah, Paige. It looks like her contract is up with AEW. So it looks like people, they're taking a mini vacation. Like a 2-year vacation. Then they're coming back to WWE.
Yeah.
So
Uh,
it's
WWE that you get fooled on April 1st because Blackheart.
I shared. I mean, I was good on April 1st. I didn't post anything. But when I
Man
saw it,
buys TNT. I was
yes,
one of
yeah, I saw that,
yeah. Well,
and then what I thought, right? I'm like, wouldn't that be a perfect day to actually do it if he did
yeah,
it?
it would have been great.
Yeah,
Would have been great. We still got just about 2 weeks before WrestleMania, Chris Blackheart.
Well, your prediction. I mean, I thought when was it? I think he was out at I think it was the Knicks game in New York, and he was all in green for St. Patty's Day, and people, and that's weird because I think he was like in the front row, and typically, people do that on purpose. They don't do that by accident.
Oh yeah.
You don't wear all green, and you don't go on the front row, and you do that so you're on TV, you're getting your photos, people are talking about you. So I thought that would be a lead into what you stated literally a year ago. So you could be the magic maker when it comes down to predictions in wrestling.
Well, like I said, there's still 2 weeks to go for WrestleMania, and what better way and in what better fashion to do it the week of WrestleMania, or if not, the same weekend as WrestleMania, to make big announcements of new things, new endeavors, and big news. So we'll
Well,
find.
yeah, I mean, the good part about that, we all know that WWE is mainstream media now, especially during WrestleMania. So why would he not use that, something he created, knowing that, to help spread his announcement throughout the whole week?
Yeah,
I mean,
that could be.
I think that's going to happen. I think the Easter Bunny. It's not going to be hipping and hopping in Las Vegas. I think Vince McMahon may be hippity hopping in Las Vegas.
Yeah, yeah, it's certainly leading to some interesting stuff happening there in the next couple weeks. Uh, what's some other news that I saw earlier this week? Uh, Wanted to touch up on, and I can't just seem to.
Well,
Remember.
you want to do some plugs before we go into some of the sad New England news from this
Yeah, we
past
could do
week?
that. Yeah, we could do that. Yeah, we'll save that for towards more of the end. But yeah, if you want to go into some plugs, go ahead to get them started.
Yeah, I mean, I'll go the easy ones. Showcase Pro Wrestling back at Showcase Pro Wrestling Arenas Saturday night. We Showcase Saturday night. The boat time is 7:07. 126 Main Street in Woonsocket. Advance tickets are at showcaseprowrestling.com, or everything at the door is only $10. Best value literally in Woonsocket on Saturday night. The week afterwards, we do go to Taunton BFW. That is a Friday night with a bell time of 7:47, where you'll see one half of your favorite co-host right over there, possibly getting his first title reign as the Sons of Liberty champion, which I think that's very special. And then we're going into May. May is a lot of shows coming up, which it is all updated at showcasepressing.com. All of our events and social media at SP Wrestling. Actually, you know what? We after these plugs, we got to go back to what happened on Powerhouse. We missed
Yeah,
that.
we'll go back to that. We'll touch up on that.
Yeah.
But yeah, all those events are up now at SP Wrestling, ShowcaseProWrestling.com for tickets for this Saturday night in Socket. And obviously, unfortunately, going back to the slide thinking, smelly city of Taunton, uh, on the 11th. So you could grab your tickets then there at that time as well.
Now we do have the night. Actually, I mean, going. We've got on April 11th. We have a huge fundraiser for Roadie Elite by our great friend, the real deal Joe Davis. Do you have the address of that offhand? Because I do not have the flyer in front of me.
Well, that was part of the segment. What's going on, Danny Badandi? And speaking of Danny Badandi, I guess Danny was streaming in our other stream there, waiting for us at the building. Somebody comment in the comments just now that Danny was streaming earlier. Daniel, miscommunication, brother. Uh, we'll have to get things together for next week here on the podcast. But yeah, that event is gonna happen April 12th at the Tyra Club in Woonsocket, Rhode Island. The information is uh, on our website and also on our social media at SP Wrestling on Instagram and Facebook. You could click on the poster, and there's a link there that will take you to buy tickets for that event that are being pre-sold for $20 online, or 30 the day of the event at the door at the Tyra Club in Woonsocket for that event for Rhodey Elite with the real deal Joel Davis and all his cast of comedians. He's also going to be at Morosco's in Cranston, Rhode Island on April the 24th for another big event, another big night of comedy with the real deal Joel Davis. If you want to find out more information, you could go to Joel's Facebook page. Is it Real Deal Fitness and Conditioning on Facebook?
Yes.
So you could go and find out all that info. All the posters are up on there. You could click on the QR codes there and buy tickets and find all the info for all the comedy. We'll have more of his shows that are scheduled for the month of May next week here on the pod. But for now, April 12th in Soccer the Tire Club, and April 24th in Cran at Morosco's Bar and Grill. So Chris Blackhart, yeah, last night we were in Sturbridge, Massachusetts, at the Sturbridge Hotel for Powerhouse Wrestling New England, and you were on hand that night.
I was. We were coming off the seminar with Austin Aries. Great guy. Any promotion that wants to book him, I mean, and you can attest to it. Really easy guy to work with. Great, great. He would definitely improve the morale and the focus of your students. You want someone, that's a straight shooter. Is Austin Aries, and for those who doesn't like someone being straight, that's your fault.
Yeah.
But we came out. Everybody who went to the seminar, we had a good host of guys all throughout New England that came down for it. They're definitely better for it, and that just leads us, to the night after. We had alumni of the Showcase for Wrestling Training Center (BRG) versus Austin Aries. A great co-main event. And Brad almost did it. He almost beat Austin Aries, which that I watched the match. I wasn't biased, but I wasn't rooting for Aries. I liked Aries on Friday, but I wasn't rooting for him on Saturday just because BRG fans did not like BRG. In true fashion, he did not care. He wanted to win. He literally wanted to take the name of Austin Aries and put it in his cap as someone that
Oh
he
yeah,
beat. And
the smart thing is not to care for these people, for these bottom feeders that are trying to make you lose concentration. I mean, that's very smart on the part of BRG. You know, I finally saw the light. I was getting, I was catering to these people at one point.
well, yeah, I mean, if you want to go to the second main event, it was yourself versus PCO, ripping literally through Sturbridge with tables and chairs and trash
Your favorite,
cans.
your
And,
favorite.
yeah, no, and I was looking back and I was sitting in a chair and I'm like, it may be my ring, but is not my show tonight, and is not my stress level.
Well, things did get a little out of control, and I wasn't expecting any less. I was prepared for the French Canadian monster PCO, and he brought everything he had to the table. But at the end of that night, Chris Blackhart, who is still the powerhouse wrestling heavyweight champion?
Not Alex Raiden.
Exactly. Is the guy they call Vega, the man they call Vega. And, like I said, I was going to beat PCO. He's a crazy 300-pound monster, and he came up a little short. So you could just imagine what's going to happen to Alex Rated when I get my hands on him.
Well, didn't it feel good that the fans were cheering you? They were saying your name. They were clapping. Didn't that? I mean, I think you had a little smile.
I'm just smiling because they can't help themselves. They have to cheer because they're that good,
Yeah.
Chris Blackhart. You can't be denied.
I mean, that's the way you want to see it. But yeah, you did win. Congratulations. You retained the Powerhouse Wrestling Heavyweight Championship. They will be back. If when's the show? September, I believe.
We're
Is that,
back
is that correct?
September 20th at the Sturbridge Host Hotel. And I can tell you, I heard already that a few people are signed to appear that night, including BRG. He'll be returning there that night. And I believe he's bringing in, he's got some backup coming in on that night.
Yeah.
And this is a guy that we've seen all throughout the history of going back to your favorite hardcore wrestling and hardcore matches. He's an original member of ECW, and he's an Anderson. Debut of
Oh.
W. Anderson, Powerhouse Wrestling, Hardcore Reunion, September 20th at the Sturbridge Host Hotel in Sturbridge, Mass. So already signed to appear that night, BRG and W. Anderson on that card. We'll have more information here in the next few months leading to that big event.
Well, the fact that you say you're doing he's calling it an ECW reunion.
Well, one of the big events for Powerhouse Wrestling was Hardcore Reunion, and it was based on a lot of those ECW guys back in the day. We had a lot of guys like some that are not with us any longer, like Balls Mahoney and New Jack, and obviously Sabu and Sandman and Just Incredible, Dreamer. I mean, you name it, we've had all those guys in the past. But this one, it becomes kind of like a mission finding these guys that are still active because there's not that many of them. As far as
Well, I think we forget. Yeah,
still
look at the
ECW,
timeline.
there's
Yeah, look at the timeline. It was about 20, literally, well, almost 25 years ago.
yeah, so there's definitely not that many of them that are still active. But I can tell you offhand, CW Anderson, he looks great, man. He looks in better shape now than he was back when he was in ECW, and he says he can't wait to be in New England. It's been a long time. He remembers the days of the dog track in Revere, uh,
Yep.
and he's excited to be back in Massachusetts. So that's going to be an interesting night.
I'll try to be there, but that's a tough one. Just because just with one potential hardcore match with you and PCO, now I have to worry about tables and chairs and beers and
Well, who
it could
knows?
be it could be in every
Most
match.
Taro's willing to bring up and try to put me to the test. Who knows? Sataro, he's out there. He's just as crazy as PCO. So you know,
Yep.
yeah. I just I'm waiting to see what happens.
Well, based on the comments in the chat right now, I think Dan Badante should be in a hardcore match.
Well, Dan Badandi says Chris loves hardcore matches.
Yeah, no.
I guess I guess Dan is doing his own version of the Showcase Pod 2.0 over there.
Well, I think Danny is. My impression is he's doing the delay.
Are
You know,
you
for
lonely, Danny? Are you there with the ghost with the music box or?
oh, do we want to tell that story to people? Talk about freaking people out, or
Yeah,
just
there's a special type of guy that usually goes down there. He does run the production at Showcase. Part of the production team there, Jay Hollywood. Uh, yeah, I think he loves creepy stuff with music boxes playing in the background. So
Yeah, you want to tell the story for the fans? See
Well,
about last Thursday
yeah,
night when we were leaving.
I don't want people to think that this is why we're on location.
Are you talking about? Well, I think it is before the fact that I think Puerto Ricans don't like ghosts. To be honest with you.
Well, I don't think anyone likes
Yeah.
be around some weird shit happening. But yeah, last week we were at the studio and we were leaving the building. And it was Danny, you, and myself, and we found one of the doors downstairs open with this little music box playing, and there was no one around. So,
Yeah.
at the beginning, I told Julio I thought he had gone into the building and was playing a joke on us, but he said that he was home comfortably resting, and yeah, we're on a mission to find out the music box, who it belongs to. Is it Annabelle's music box? Or
Yeah, I don't know, but when I was talking to him the other day, I said, leaving, since you had your encounter, many months ago at the Showcase Pro Wrestling Training Center, I literally go in there now when I'm the first one with a flashlight. And, I said, it feels a little different there. It feels like something's missing.
yep,
And he goes, what do you mean? I said, some days, you get that, eerie, creepy feeling up your neck. And I said, I don't have that anymore in Woonsocket, but I did feel that, you know, walking down those stairs and then you saw the music box and I don't think he liked it.
I think it follows out of one socket, and now it's
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's what I thought. I'm like, I was very grateful that, the training center is cleansed.
well,
Um,
you
so
know.
yeah, Jay Hollywood is all yours.
There's another one that's missing, according to Danny. Jay Hollywood's been missing in action the last few days from showing up over there at the studio, at the office.
Well, actually, I don't know if you know this story. You'll appreciate this. So, when was it? Monday? I think it was Monday. Yeah, Monday. Was it Monday? Yeah, Monday. He came down and he said, "Hey, can I do something down in the basement?" He was going
Yeah,
to do something with the equipment. I said, "Yeah." He goes, and some of the kids were on a podcast, which I think is the Beyond Wrestling podcast, which we're plug now and then next week. So yeah, he goes, oh, I said they'll be over just around like 9:25, 9:30. Fantastic. He goes, okay, I'm gonna go and get some Gatorade and come back. So what are you gonna do? He goes, oh, I gotta adjust some equipment, do a little spray. I said, oh, that's fine, just doing the cellar. And then I looked at him. I said, are you gonna be here all by yourself? And he goes, what? He goes, are you gonna be here like, for a couple of hours doing it yourself? And he goes, what? I said, Julio, I can't stay here. I gotta get up to drive to Boston, by 6 o'clock, in the morning. He goes, what? And I'm waiting for him, right? So we left at 9:30. It's like 9:35. We're in the parking lot. I text him, hey, checking in. Nothing. 9:40. I call him. Doesn't pick up.
so you
Text him again. Hey, are you coming? I'm leaving. So I left.
you said the magic words, that you wasn't staying.
I don't know why you would think I would stay there to like, 12 or 1 o'clock, so he could take care of his business. Got that he bed by himself, and he is
Yeah,
Puerto Rican, right? And for some reason, and we kid about it, but when I've gone there, I haven't had any signs. When you've gone there, you have had a couple of you know
yeah, it's
incidences,
been a
right?
while, man. But yeah, I did time
Yeah,
during COVID when I was going down there, like I said,
yeah,
by myself, and then including I sent you a picture of a chair
yes.
which looked like an image of something.
It is.
And
No, but
yeah, it's
what? Yeah, watch when you go up there next week, right? It's going to feel a little bit different. It's like it was a cleansing.
well, yeah,
So I think Jay Hollywood has a friend.
I think
So on the 1776 studio, they may have to get some silver bullets in there.
I think Jay Hollywood should go sleep in the couch that we have at the 1776 studio. He should spend the night there by himself, right, Daniel? Danny, so I
Yeah,
think that should be Jay Hollywood's next project.
yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of projects, you want to go over some the sad news we got this week from two passings in New England?
Yes, indeed. If you want to get into it, go right ahead, and I'll catch up with you.
Yeah, I'll go with the first one. So when we were at Powerhouse on Saturday, we're checking social media. We got the word in that old man Tom Getty used to be a referee in New England. Met him at Yankee Pro Wrestling. Went through WCW, Power League. I can't remember if Tom worked for us. I can't remember if he was retired by then under the Showcase banner, but
I
I just enjoy.
done one or two shows.
Yeah, no, I can't remember, but old man Tom, he was a good guy. I'm not sure how he passed. He was an older gentleman. Looked like in his late 60s to 70s, I think.
Yeah, it could be like yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so we do feel bad. I mean, I literally found out before Candida was going out. Um, and he was he knew Tom very well. Literally grew up in the business with Tom and his
Oh, his
family.
was son
So yeah, that
for a
was that.
while, and he actually did some shows with us uh, for a little while. So yeah, condolences to his family, his son, and may he rest in peace.
Yeah,
Another tough one that it actually sucks is one of the guys from Yankee Pro South Coast Championship Wrestling. We met him when he was just literally a kid, and I was kind of having a one of those moments where you go back and you remember memories and moments, and I know I used to play jokes on him about his ears and
yes, yeah,
and we would have a laugh. But Carlos V passed away, unfortunately, at a very young age. I believe he's still in his 30s. Um, don't know what happened, but we know that he passed away unexpectedly, and I definitely like to send our condolences to his family, to his girlfriend, his kids. It's a sad situation, man. It's something that we don't like to hear, and it definitely hits home when it's one of our guys that is gone. So
yeah. People forget. Carlos V was in and out of Showcase for years, and I'm trying to confirm this, but I believe the first ever match for Showcase was Nicholas Knight versus Carlos V.
yeah,
In Ann Arbor. I think I was trying to reach out to Nicholas Knight to find out, but I'm almost positive that was the first match of March. Was it March 23rd of '07? And people forget we gave Carlos V when he was going to leave the wrestling business. When we were in All of Annihilation in New Bedford, we gave him a retirement match.
yes.
And then I was scrolling through my messages the other day, and he was looking to come back. Was it, I think in the fall of this past year?
Yeah, I did talk to Carlos a few months back, and he actually asked me about Powerhouse, and he asked me about coming back to a showcase, and I said that I will keep him in the mix there, and then that was the last message that I have from Carlos. But he always kept in touch. He always had nice words to say. I always used to talk to my dad when he was living, and
Yeah,
another kid that was proud of our Puerto Rican heritage, and yeah, man, just a dude that he liked making people laugh. If you had a problem, he'll sit there and listen to your problems, try to comfort you. Uh, he's definitely gonna be one that's gonna be missed, truly missed. Uh, Great human being, and I just hope that wherever he is, he could find that peace, and that his children grow up, because he always talked about his kids uh,
yeah,
up to be what he wanted them to be. So you know, may he rest in peace as well.
that is all true. He was one of the good guys.
Yes, indeed. Uh, it seems like we've ended this show, in the same fashion the last 2 weeks. Hopefully, praying to the big man upstairs that things get better here, moving on forward.
All right, why don't you wrap it up?
So, with that being said, we will see everybody this Saturday night for Showcase Saturday Night in Woonsocket, 126 Main Street in Woonsocket, Rhode Island. You'll get to see that tag team matchup as Super Stack, Danny Cabral, and Sean Candido defend the SPW Tag Team Championships against 17 Jump Street. That's if they could jump their way to the arena. That
Maybe we should call him 17 Limp Street.
well, yeah, and I will have some nice words if Alex Rated doesn't do the right thing. With that being said, Chris Blackhart, you have anything else for this week?
That is it. Just follow us on all social media, SP Wrestling, on all our social media. And if you haven't subscribed, subscribe because this is every Thursday live. We have tons of content. We have an awesome team, literally behind the doors, working and bringing content up there. There's a lot of new content coming up. So if you're not subscribing, doesn't cost anything. Hit the
Oh, look what we have. Look who shows up, Chris Blackheart. Sorry to cut you off. In the comments there, Gimpy Joe is saying that they will be there on Saturday. So, Dan said you're frozen. It could be the ghost, distorted. So before he gets a music box playing in the background, or maybe the kitty jumps out at him, uh, or Mrs. Island slaps him in the back of the head. That's all we have for this week. We'll see you right back here in the showcase pod for Don Vega and Chris Blackheart. We'll see you Saturday in Woonsocket.
all right.